card, but it didn't come in yet. So sorry about that. Apparently it's going to take a while. So hopefully for next week, but I have a really fun game to play, so we'll have to leave that for next week. But I'm actually going to ask you how much you think each house is here in Ocala. I'm going to give you the info and everything and share pictures and everything, and it's going to be on an MLS sheet. I will not give you the address, so there's no cheating, but you're going to try and figure out how much the house is and how much the taxes are for the house, and maybe the mortgage payment too, but that's kind of like, it depends on credit and stuff, so that's a little bit off. But so we'll definitely do the house price and the taxes, because that's pretty cool. But anyway, so we're going to be doing that for a t-shirt that I have on my Etsy store, which is the bottled water that you're drinking. No. Man, now I can't remember what it says. Anyway, it's something about how we go swimming in your bottled water, which is totally true. So you guys get actually spring water. And when you get spring water, normally it's bottled from artesian springs that we have here in Ocala. We actually have several water bottling companies here, and they pull the water right out of our springs. But it's also, you know, the springs we go swimming in like all the time. I'm sure that they bottle it before we go swimming in it, but it's still the same spring, so I'm counting it. But yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, anyway, so it's just a picture with bottled water on it, and it's just basically talking about Ocala. So I've got a whole bunch of Ocala-based like t-shirts that I just thought were cute and thought they were kind of funny, and some pictures that I've taken around the area, and so those are on stretch canvases and stuff. So I actually I've never thought to do anything like that, but sometimes I'll take a picture and, you know, it's a really good picture, because, you know, I'm always taking videos for you guys all over Ocala. And if I just happen to catch a really great one, you know, like 50 bazillion pictures and videos that I take, then that is basically like, okay, so like the one picture that I'm sorry, I got distracted because my daughter called me. I just cannot believe every Monday night I do a live between 6 and 7 p.m. And every single Monday night she calls during that time frame just to ask what I'm making for dinner. Every time. Like, okay, anyway, sorry. And she knows. So I don't know. Maybe she just really wants to be on a live. Maybe I'll have her on here and just, I don't know, every week consistently. So yeah, for like months now. What? She's smart. She really is smart. I promise. Just what? So anyway, but yes, so I took some pictures and videos and stuff, and then once in a while I will take a picture that I really love and it's just really beautiful of Ocala, and I'll submit it to one of the online newspapers. They have like just resident submissions, you know, of cool stuff. Maybe it was a really pretty sunset or just a really great view of our hometown, and you can submit it there. So it's ocala-news.com. So there's all these different pictures that get submitted. And I was like, oh, I've got really great pictures. So I've submitted them, and they'll actually use quite a few of them. Some of them they don't. If there's like somebody walking through, if there's any kind of person in the picture, they won't do it. So it has to be completely just landscape kind of views. So, you know, it was a learning process. But anyway, so I've taken and I've submitted quite a few. Well, one of the people that saw one of my pictures actually contacted me and wanted to purchase one of my pictures. And I'm like, purchase it? It's digital. Feel free to steal it. Like, I didn't think there was any value to this. It was just, you know, I've already got the picture. Why not share it with people? So yeah, anyway, I don't even know how she got my email address or anything, but she emailed me and asked for a picture. So I actually kind of did an Etsy store that so she could actually buy a canvas. And you know, whatever size canvas she wanted. So it just kind of went from there. So anyway, so now I have an Etsy store with some of my pictures that I've taken around Ocala since it was requested. It was not me just going, hey, I think I need something else to do with my time and I'm going to create an online store. No, I have more than enough going on. But it was okay. I mean, I did it basically over a weekend. And I was like, oh, honey, I created an online store and I'm selling my photography. And he's like, because you had not enough to do with your life? Yeah, that's why. It's like the laundry can wait. That's really what I do on the weekends, I swear. No. Sunday afternoon, I'm doing laundry. It's not a question. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, actually this weekend we went camping. We absolutely, yes. I can't say we absolutely love camping because my husband is not actually a fan. He puts up with it under duress, but he does go. So I'm counting that as a win. It is one of the best. I love camping, and you can camp like all over the place around here. The weather is fantastic. It's great exercise. We went to the Ocala National Forest. There's like a bazillion campgrounds in there. We do tent camping. However, my husband actually started looking into purchasing an RV. I have been shopping for an RV for like a year and a half. He has actually gotten on the bandwagon like, oh, you mean I'll get to sleep in a regular bed? Like, this is like, what? So, so yeah, we did actually, after we went camping, I told him that there was an RV show in Ocala. And yeah, he actually went to the RV show and he actually even paid to get in. It was $5 to get in. Lexi was free because she's under 16. And yeah, we went to the RV show and he actually paid. You know he's interested in something when my husband pays for it because he doesn't like paying for anything. So, yeah, we were looking at him. I was telling him what things I do like and what things I don't like. For me personally, I want a real bed. I don't want one of those conversion things where you have like these cushions that are all like, I don't want to sleep on a line of cushion. Does that make sense? I can't, no. It has to be like, no. It can't be the dining room table and my bed. No. So, a lot of the question is, do you do like a van camper type thing, or do you do one where it's like pulled behind the truck? But there's so many different kinds. It was crazy. So crazy. The stuff they had at this RV show was ridiculous. It was like, some of them looked like they put together a utility trailer and some plywood. And I'm like, that's $50,000? What? But some of them were really, really cool and really, really inexpensive. They were like less than $20K, and it had like the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, like everything. But those were like pull behinds, so you don't have a motor or anything. A lot of them came with solar already, and then you could add more solar if you wanted more juice. I mean, it was really cool. You learn a lot from going to one of those. I mean, they probably had hundreds of RVs. The really, really big, massive ones were like, I don't want to drive it. I don't want to pay for gas. And do we really need 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms in an RV? It was crazy. It was really, really crazy. The one disappointment that I've seen is that these, the vans where they have the Mercedes vans and then they turn them into as like conversion vans or whatever. Yeah, those are more expensive than bigger RVs that have more stuff. So just because they packed it all into a smaller, and having a regular size bed is really, really rare with those. And it was just, it's kind of disappointing because I really like the size of them and the look of them because they look like a regular vehicle. But yeah, not so much. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm talking all in all about that. But anyway, we went to Ocala National Forest this weekend, tent camping, and we did Clearwater Lake, not to be confused with Clearwater, Florida, which is down by Tampa. No, this is Clearwater Lake, and it was absolutely beautiful. My husband was incredibly disappointed because there was no cell phone service and no electricity, and I was thrilled. So you can tell there's a very different mentality with us. But it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. The firewood was terrible. I had a horrible time getting a fire started. Normally I'm a little firebug and I can get pretty much anything to burn, but not so much. I had enough to get me coffee in the morning. So really I'm pretty sad with that. I have a plastic French press that I use for camping. It's in my camping gear. So yeah, I had Starbucks. So It's nice. And then also, crazy thing happened. We're like getting set up to, you know, have our camp food or whatever. And, you know, we got the fire started for all that. And I'm like getting out stuff for s'mores and whatnot. And the ranger in the golf cart's coming along and he's like, did anybody order DoorDash? And I'm like, somebody did a DoorDash while camping with no, like, how do you even do that? But a lot of the campers had, they had solar set up. So, I mean, and apparently they could get internet pretty good. For some reason, my husband had no internet, or mine was kind of spotty. But yeah, it was weird. Like, who door dashes to their RV? But I mean, a lot of them were full-time RVers. So, I guess that was the thing, but I just thought it was hilarious because we were in the middle of the Ocala National Park. Like, there was nothing for miles, but apparently there's DoorDash. Like, where did they even get the DoorDash from? There was no fast food. There's no nothing out there. So, I mean, they had to have come from a while away. So, anyway, it was crazy. Absolute craziness. But yeah, somebody ordered DoorDash and apparently got it, but they couldn't figure out which, like, apparently they didn't put in the notes which lot they were in. So the guy was just going around going, whose food is this? It was hilarious. I thought it was funny. Anyway, but yeah, we actually made some pretty good friends. Bruce out there, he's a really cool guy. That he's a university professor online, and I forget, I think College of Massachusetts maybe. Anyway, so he is a full-time RVer. It's just him, and he just goes around and goes to the different campgrounds all over. Depending on the weather, he'll be up north or he'll be down south, and he has his solar set up, and yeah, he was sitting there grading papers for the university students. And, you know, sitting there chit-chatting with us. And I'm like, holy smokes, what a life, you know? What a life. No electric, but he was all set. He didn't have a generator or anything. He didn't need it because he had the solar. It was pretty cool. It was really cool. Anyway, I thought it was cool. My husband was like, these people don't live anywhere. He's like, they're homeless. And I'm like, no, they're more like gypsy lifestyle. It's like just different. Anyway. So I had another of my agents come in this week, and they did the 20 questions. I don't know if you've seen this series of videos, but I have my agents come in, each one individually, and I ask them 20 questions that just tells us more about them, so you guys can get to know them a little bit better. What surprises me is how consistent the one question is. Just rank 20 questions. But one of the 20 questions is, why do you do what you do? Why do you like your job? And every single one of them was that they like people. It's not because they have like this abnormal amount of money or something like that. It was that they really want to help people. The one today, it was Tristan. She's one of our newest. Her husband was already with us, and she went and got her real estate license, and he's in regular sales, and she's doing property management, and she's doing Airbnbs specifically. So managing Airbnbs, that is a tough job, and she's doing really, really well. She just uploaded her first video today, so you'll see her 20 question video coming up pretty soon, but I thought it was really sweet. She's just a total sweetheart, but she's doing really well in real estate, considering she's only been in it since, well, end of last year. So yeah, like she's doing really, really well, but she went with one of the toughest niche markets. So kudos to her. But anyway, so there's some like really crazy questions, but let's see. If you could meet anyone, alive or dead, who would it be? Anyone, alive or dead. If you had a time machine, would you go to the past or the future? I don't know. It's just weird questions like that. Your favorite food, best book you ever read, best or worst gift you've ever been given, just stuff like that. I don't know. I think I do really easy questions and then some really, really tough ones, and we seem seem to be doing really well with those. So eventually, once I have, you know, majority of the agents, I'm going to splice it all together so you can kind of see how they all answer the different questions or whatever. So, but it's a really great crew. I love working with the people in here. They're just so cool. They really are. They're just a really, really great group of people. So anyway, what else? What else is going on? What is going on with you guys tonight? You're so quiet so far. Whoa. This is actually my second live of the day. I go in the morning and as I'm getting ready, and then I go in to get my makeup and hairbrush and all of that. I go in and do a real quick TikTok video. I do a live, and because I don't really know what to do on TikTok live. So if I'm doing something else at the same time, that seems to work best. And so I do really quick, like 10, 15-minute TikTok lives in the morning. Most mornings. But yeah, I did that. They were really quiet on there too today. Maybe it's just because it's a Monday. But not too many comments or anything, so really strange. Shanta, hi, it was really nice meeting you and your beautiful daughter. Oh, thank you. She's always so shocked when somebody comes in and knows who she is. I don't know if she, but I mean, she really isn't on that many videos. So by comparison to how many I'm on, but yeah, she was like, I was like, hey, there's somebody that wants to meet you. And she was having kind of a rough day that day. She likes everything to be extremely scheduled, and she likes to have an itinerary, preferably days in advance, which is fine. But if something doesn't go according to plan, and quite frankly, with me and my husband both being in real estate, things rarely go according to plan. So she was just kind of like, just not it right there. She was just like, so yeah, because my husband was supposed to take her to school, and he was on the other side of town. He was trying to get back, and she was like, oh, that's okay, mom's here. And I was like, no. Just because mom is here does not mean she's available. And my husband and I, he already had planned to take her to school. So she was like freaking out like she wasn't going to get to school. I'm like, we will make sure you get to school, kid. It's just who does it is the question. So anyway, I ended up, that's why I kind of had to like, okay, I have to go. But yeah, so she was just kind of a little out of it, but she was like so shocked that you knew who she was. And then, she was just, and you know, she was, and somebody that appreciates her interesting sense of style was also cool. So it was very cool meeting you. Sorry, it was a little, she was a little out of it. Again, she really, really likes the schedule. She even required a schedule when she was like 4 years old. She's an interesting kid. Very different. Very, very different. But yeah, she would go in when she was in first grade. So what is that? She went into first grade when she was 5. So no, she was in second grade at 6. So yeah, I guess, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. And I would come in and I'd be like, okay, you're wearing shorts, but it's kind of cold outside, so why don't we change to pants? And she's like, no, Mama, I checked on Google, and the weather at 2:20 when I go outside for recess is going to be 72 degrees. So I think shorts will be good. And I'm like, okay. She knew exactly what time she was going to have recess, and she checked the weather for that time to make, like, most kids don't know their alphabet at that age. And I'm sitting there going, how do you even argue with that? Like, but yeah, she's definitely gotten herself into trouble too, that way too. So, she's just funny. She's just an interesting kid. Nothing wrong with that. Well, yes and no. She's going to kill me for sharing this one, but she scared the bejesus out of me when she was about 6. I mean, scared. This kid, she had running group. She's got a lot of energy. So I put her into a running group at school, and they met like 2 days a week. She had to be there until 6 because it was after school. These kids would run, and you know, it was a bunch of kids in this running group, and the teachers put it on. It was really, really cool. It was a great opportunity for her. So anyway, so she was in this running group. So 2 days a week, she had to stay until 6 o'clock. I picked her up. And so she didn't ride the bus those days. Well, I went to pick her up one of those days. I think it was like a Tuesday night. We went to pick her up at school, and the teacher was like, she's not here. And I was like, what do you mean my kid's not here? She went to school in the morning. I left her with you guys. It is now 6 o'clock. Where's my 6-year-old? Nobody knew. Nobody had a clue where she was. I checked with my husband. I checked with my sister. I'm like, where's my child? I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do at the school because they're like, she's not here. I was like, did she go to class though? And the teacher that she would have had class with wasn't there. So they were like, so I went home to see if somehow like something happened, like maybe somebody else picked her. I had no idea where my child was. You want to see the scariest thing on the planet is not knowing where your child is at that age. Like, how in the world? I come in, she's on the couch watching TV alone in the house. And I'm going, is my brain melting? Like, what happened? So I asked her how she got home, and she's like, oh, I got a ride. You're 6. You don't get a ride. How are you here? Like, did you Uber? Like, how are you here? I'm like, literally, I was on the floor ready to start sobbing, like, could not figure out. It was the worst 1-2 mile, whatever it was. It was only a few minutes from the school, but yeah, freaking out. What had happened was she was out playing with her friends and stuff or whatever on the playground, and she ripped her pants, and she got embarrassed about it. So instead of saying to the teacher she ripped her pants or anybody else, she put her coat down, but she didn't want to do running club. So did she say call her mom? No, she took care of it herself. She tells her buddy behind her in the line, because, you know, the lines were going, like, the kids going for the bus were going this way, and the kids going for running club were going that way. And she's like, you know, just watch out for, help me out with this, because I'm going to switch lines. She switched lines in the hallway when she saw the kids on her bus group, and she jumped. She literally caught a ride home. She caught a ride home. And she thought that was perfectly fine. So this child is different. It's just caused me a few heart attacks. I had to sit down and explain to her that she couldn't decide where she got to go. I had to have some input in that. So she was like grown. She was like 30 at age 6. And I just have to try and keep up. But yeah, heart attack. Okay. I didn't know what to do. Like, what do you do with a kid like that? So she's just her own interesting individual. I'm just along for the ride. That's basically what it is at this point. So I don't know. Whatever. What? But yeah, the heart attack that she gave me at 6 years old. She wasn't even supposed to. At 6, you're not even supposed to. The bus drivers aren't supposed to leave them by themselves. Like, a parent has to be there, but. She never walked home from the bus stop by herself, but she did that day because she didn't want anybody to know she split her pants. Now the entire internet knows, so there you go. All right, we had a question that had nothing to do with my crazy kid. Ocala being rural, yes it is. Which part is better to live or rent? Closer to downtown, Marion Oaks, or Silver Springs? Whew, that's a question. What are you hoping to do? It really depends on you, honestly. As far as one being better, they have pros and cons to any of those. Also, you put Silver Springs, but I'm going to assume since you said Marion Oaks, you meant Silver Springs Shores. Those are two completely different areas. There's Silver Springs Shores, which is southeast Ocala, and then there's Silver Springs, which is up by 40 and kind of going into northeast Ocala. Two completely different sections. So just be really careful, because if you're saying, I had somebody call me the other day and he was like, yeah, I have a lot in Silver Springs. And so I talked to him about Silver Springs area, the pros and cons and all of that. He wasn't sure if he should sell or if he should build or what he should do. And then when I actually got his last name and the information for the lot, it was down in Silver Spring Shores. And I'm like, Okay, all the information I just give you is obsolete. That's actually a different city pretty much entirely. So, uh, yeah, I should probably get that information. Some people don't like to give me information right up front. They want to, they may not trust me, I guess, with information. They want to kind of talk out things and make sure I'm not going to try and be like pushy salespeople, but it really, really helps to have the correct information, especially something like that. I was like, okay, so you're in the Shores, and he's like, the Shores, and I'm like, that's what we call it. It's Silver Springs Shores, which is totally different section than Silver Springs. Anyway, Silver Spring Shores is a very similar subdivision to Marion Oaks. Marion Oaks is in southwest Ocala. Silver Spring Shores, or the Shores, as we all call it, is in southeast Ocala, kind of going towards Bellevue. They were very, very, there's a lot of similarities between those two subdivisions. There are sections, the subdivisions are so huge, they should be their own city. They have their own zip codes. 34472 is Silver Spring Shores. 34473 is Marion Oaks. They have their own grocery stores. They have everything is its own thing. So my wife and I have been watching your videos. Very informative. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you, Hank. That is very nice of you to say. I hope they're being helpful. But yeah, so Silver Spring Shores is, it has older sections and newer sections, and then it has some in-between sections, and it has a golf course, and I mean, it's so huge, it's impossible to say, okay, well, don't go live in Silver Spring Shores, because, it's there's all these trashy houses and stuff, or something like that. That's not at all possible to say that, because it's literally an entire city, basically. It's its own zip code. Some of the areas have older, smaller homes. Some of the homes are on busy roads. Not fun. Same thing for Marion Oaks. I personally prefer, man, it's really hard. I lived in Silver Spring Shores for a number of years, and I actually didn't want to leave it. I was really close to the Silver Spring Shores Community Center. I do. I think I prefer the Silver Spring Shores Community Center better than Marion Oaks, just because it has two really big pools, one of which is heated and it's open year round. And I mean, we're talking really nice pools. I loved going to those pools. And then they just redid the inside of the clubhouse, and it has like a fitness center, and I mean, they've got a hot tub out. I mean, it is nice. And it's included as part of your taxes for a large portion of Silver Spring Shores. So there's no cost to go there. How could you not want to do that? See, for Marion Oaks, they have a really, really nice community center. Both of the community centers have a small library in them. It's really, really nice. That being said, Marion Oaks, I think I actually, at this point, because I live on southwest side of Ocala at this point, we probably go to Marion Oaks Community Center more so, because I live really, really close to it. We just had our company party there because one of my agents, she lives in Marion Oaks, so we were able to use the Marion Oaks Community Center for the craft room or whatever. So, I mean, I've been there for many, like, everybody goes over there for various things. There's a lot of people that live in Marion Oaks that do parties and stuff over there. So, and theirs is really, really nice, but they have a splash pad as opposed to a pool. So that's why I'm like, yeah, Marion Oaks is a really nice community center. So I don't know. I like Silver Spring Shores because it has a little bit more shopping. It has a Publix and a Walmart right there, and an Aldi, like right in Silver Spring Shores, whereas Marion Oaks has a Winn-Dixie, and then you have to trek up to 200 if you want to do Walmart, which again, it's not that far. It's like 5-10 minutes, so it's not that bad. I don't know. It's just a little different. If I were to invest, I would probably invest in Marion Oaks, just because there's a lot of jobs coming into the area. And with the access to I-75, I think that's a little bit better. For Silver Spring Shores, if you're going to invest, I would say going more towards Bellevue would be a better investment, because then you have the jobs down in the villages and stuff that you would have access to a little bit easier. I don't know, the schools are pretty pretty similar. I don't know. As far as City of Ocala, again, depends. City of Ocala is huge and varied, and you can be right by the tennis court club or right in the historic district, which has absolutely gorgeous homes, or you can be in some houses that look more like shacks and they were built in 1910 and they look a little wobbly now. So it really just depends. I will have to say that City of Ocala does have expensive utilities, so bear that in mind. And you have no options. Once you are in an area, it's whatever utilities are for that area, including cable, that's what you get. So cable, I would check to see, what internet providers are there, what utility companies are there, and all that. The least expensive utility company is Clay Electric, but that's like up in the forest, and I don't want to live in the forest. I love trees, but I like to visit trees. I don't want to live with the trees, if that makes sense. You can drive easily for 30 minutes and not see houses at all, like nothing. So it's a lot of trees. Like, I'm not exaggerating, a lot of trees. That is the Ocala National Forest, and that's a good portion of our county. But they have Clay Electric out there, and the grand majority of them have phenomenal internet service. I don't know what's up with that, but really good internet out there. So go figure. Over here, it's kind of hit or miss. I think Spectrum is probably the best internet, but it's not in a lot of areas yet here. So yeah, I would check to see, make sure that you can get access to some really decent internet, because that's an issue. And if you're outside of City of Ocala, you're going to have either SECO, which is Sumter Electric Cooperative, or you're going to have Duke Energy, both of which are about equal as far as their pricing, last I checked. We have SECO, personally. Technically, I have a lot of different internet providers. We have at our home something called Zito. I'm not joking. It's this itty bitty little cable company down the road, but it was either that or CenturyLink, and CenturyLink is one step above dial-up. And if CenturyLink is upset with this video, then they should probably fix their customer service issues. I have never seen anybody happy once they have CenturyLink, so this is from experience. So yeah, my neighbor actually across the street just came over and he's like, "What internet do you have? Because I'm about ready to go crazy with CenturyLink." And I was like, "Nobody uses CenturyLink. Why are you on that?" And he's like, "I needed them to fix it 2 weeks ago and they have yet to come out." And I'm like, "Which is why nobody has that." So yeah, I gave him my cable company information, and I think now he's on Zito as well, so whatever. But just 7 streets over, just 7 blocks over, they have Spectrum. I was like, So yeah, Spectrum is a little bit more expensive, but it's also a fantastic internet service. So for here, I don't know about other areas. Don't ask me about what is going on in Texas or New York. I don't know. Spectrum could be god awful somewhere else. I don't know. All I know is Ocala. I've lived here for so long, I cannot say what other places have, because internet was dial-up by the time I got here. So I don't know. But if you ask me Ocala, I have that figured out, okay? I can even do like Citrus County and surrounding areas. I can do Ocala Metro, a good portion of the Villages, which is 2 whole more counties, but don't ask me outside of my little Central Florida area. I just don't know. Do something you're really good at and just focus on that. That's my thought process. So yeah, that hope that helps. I don't know. Let's see. What's your opinion on Rainbow Lakes Estates in Denellen? Rainbow Lakes Estates. I think that's the one on Rainbow Lakes. Hold on. That's the one on, there's one that's on the other side of 40, goes that way, 41. It's on the west side. I had to go, it's on the left, okay? I had to think about it, okay? I have to think. Left, California, that's west, okay. The blonde roots good eat. Okay, so yeah, on the west side of 41, we're talking about Rainbow Lake Estates. It's okay. I hate when they tear out all the trees when they're doing a subdivision. It's okay. The house prices are very fair, but I don't know. There is like, if you go way back in the back, there's like this section with like right on the waterfront. I mean, it's lake access right there, which is pretty nifty. But at the same time, it is a trek to get back there. I mean, you just go for miles. And it's just like this, really, it's an odd subdivision. It's a very odd subdivision. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely not the worst. It's just, it is what it is kind of thing. You get exactly what you pay for. There's not like, oh, this is like the coolest, best place. I'm not gonna say that. It does have a lot of access to like shopping and stuff because of Denellen is right there. But for me personally, I prefer Citrus Park, which is in Citrus County. It's just outside of Denellen. Your property taxes are going to be a little bit lower. Your home insurance is going to be a little higher. But I really like Citrus Park because of like, there's all sorts of beautiful trees, and the community center and the walking trails are phenomenal. So it has the rail trail that goes right through there. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I prefer Citrus Park, which is crazy because 10 years ago I wouldn't have said that. I was like, it has no trees. It has like nothing out there. But no, Citrus Park I think is nice, especially on the east side of 41. I like the east side over by the river. It's really pretty. And they're building really big houses over there, which is, I guess I'm not the only one that noticed that it's really pretty over there. So yeah. I also like, is it on the west side? There's one on the west side that's really cool. Let me think. Yeah. I gotta think what the name of it is. It's like a country club kind of thing. Hold on. It's all in Marion County. I'm like losing it today. It's okay. It is okay. But yeah, there's like a community center right across, or not community center, but like a country club kind of thing right across the street. And I always get the names confused. Where is it? It's like right on the river. It has river access anyway. Nope. That ain't it. Hold on. Is it Rainbow Springs? Country Club of Rainbow Springs, something like that. Anyway, I really like that area. There's Rainbow Park. Rainbow Neighborhood Park. Okay, so that's not helping me. What is the name of this one? Go in on 93rd. And you just love it when your brain just, it's been a long day. What is the name of that one? I don't know. But again, it's a little bit more expensive because they have larger lot sizes, which is again why I like them. And I mean, if you can get an acre over there, and then it has the access to the Rainbow River. So that's pretty cool. And then they have a pool, they have a golf course, just all sorts of stuff. Chris Bray, hello, how are you? Hi, I have a question about new builds. What's your opinion on solar panels on, whoops, so close. What's your opinion on solar panels on new houses? Are they worth it? Worth what? If they're going to charge you astronomical amounts of money? No. Is it something that I think is a great idea? Yes. Especially if you have a brand new roof. Now, if you have an older roof and you're putting solar panels on, that is a terrible, terrible waste of time and money. Because when you go to replace your roof, guess what you have to take off and put back on? Yeah. But if you have brand new roof, you got a warranty on that roof, whatever. Be careful that your solar panels also don't void your warranty on your roof, just saying. I really love the idea of solar panels in the yard as opposed to on the roof, but to each their own. Is it worth the money as in investment? Sorry about that. Again, it really just depends on how much money they're talking. Is solar panels worth the money? I've heard both sides. Sorry, Chris, it's so hard. I've heard both sides, and I've had both with and without. We had solar panels. We had a heated pool, and I really loved having a $20 electric bill. I really did. It was awesome. I really like selling houses with solar panels because it's a huge savings for the buyer. So I'm going to say yes, it is. But again, I really hate when a lot of the companies, the solar panel companies, are like, oh, you're going to get this for free because the savings on the solar panels, you know, or on the electric bill is going to pay for the solar panels and stuff. No, I hate that. It is an investment. It's just, you know, how much they're going to charge you, especially if you're going to put it on, you know, a credit card or something like that, and then you're paying for the credit card fees and stuff too. It's just, I would try and get it put in with the house if you have home equity or something like that, where it's a lower interest rate than credit cards or something, or their loans. If they have a lower interest rate on that, that would be great. But if you can pay for it straight out, that would be cool. But yeah, solar panels have come down in price, but I honestly think that they should come down a lot more. But yeah, if at all possible, I would definitely say yes. Solar panels are great, especially here in Florida, the sunshine state, where we have sunshine so much, it's insane. Absolutely, I have had them before, and at some points, I actually had a credit as opposed to getting an electric bill from Duke Energy. It was it was a 5-bedroom house, 3-bathroom with a heated pool. And even during the summer months, we would actually have a negative because the power company can actually pull power from when it's, you know, everybody's using their AC and stuff like that. They will actually pull from your solar, and then they have to give you a credit on your bill because they used your solar panels, which is pretty freaking cool. How it all works in depth, I don't know. But I do know that here in Florida, we have a heck of a lot of sunshine, and I really wish that we would use solar more. But again, those solar panels and setting up with the batteries and everything going into the house and everything can be quite expensive to set up. And also to maintain and all of that. So depending on what you're doing, depending on what your goals are, to have no electric bill is pretty awesome, especially in June and July when we're running those ACs. So yeah, I would say I think it's worth it, but again, it just depends on what you're paying for them. So just be really careful you don't get oversold. Also, again, you can actually do the system yourself, and you can actually do panels out in your backyard, which would save a lot of hassle with your roof. It's a possibility to do it just in the backyard if possible. I would recommend looking into that. Because yes, solar panels are freaking awesome, but there are some roof implications, especially again if you have an older roof and it has to be replaced. So let's see. Also, how do you feel about interest rates with real estate? Will they trend down, or do you see the rates creeping higher? I think they're going to go higher, not lower. I'm sorry. I honestly think, though, that it's going to get into the double digits, and so far that hasn't happened, so I was wrong by a few points. So that's cool. I thought it would be in the double digits by now, and it has not. So hopefully they're saying they're going to leave it alone for a while and just kind of, you know, let us heal a bit. But yeah, we're not going to see. I mean, I'm sorry, but 3% interest rate was absolutely ridiculous, and we had it for years. If you did not take advantage of that, that's crazy. It's just crazy. So yeah, we're going to see higher interest rates for quite some time. Having a 3% interest rate is just weird. It's what we're used to seeing, but it's weird. If you look at the grand scheme of things and everything over the decades and stuff, that was bizarre. So yeah, So, I mean, 7% is actually, it's actually pretty reasonable. I know we all hate it because we're not used to it, but it actually is pretty reasonable. and how it's going to impact the entire world financially. Having those 7% is something that's going to be impacting us for years and years. So, yeah, I know, sucks. Sorry, but yeah, we're probably going to be seeing some higher interest rates, especially since, yeah, it did slow down on house purchases because it was kind of getting a little crazy there, and they did kind of want to stop that from continuing before it became a bubble that burst. Now it's just kind of, all right, nice and steady, nice stable right now. So that did help, but people are still purchasing houses. In fact, it's actually picked up quite a bit. So they could actually tick up a little bit more, now that everybody's kind of used to this as the new normal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That is definitely way above my pay grade as far as what the Fed does and all of that fun stuff. I'm still learning it myself. Every time I think I've got a good handle on what's going on, something else comes up and somebody smarter than me teaches me something new. And I'm like, wow. I just went down the whole rabbit hole on what quantitative easing was and exactly how that's affecting even like the price of milk at the store and stuff. It was just crazy. It was crazy stuff. But what's really interesting is how tied together everything is now. That's never happened before in human history. It is extremely tied together. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how it's all working and how, this decision by this over here is going to affect this over here and then this over here and then this over here. And it's just crazy. So really, really interesting stuff. Interesting to see how it all ties together and see the bigger picture. I'm more of a bigger picture person. My husband is details into oblivion. Thank God we are married because I can't handle details. And we're talking not details with we're talking details with everything, okay? He could probably go into a 15-minute dissertation with me involving toilet paper. Like everything is details. So I can handle it up to a certain point, and then I'm like, honey, you're detailing me to death. Like, enough. And he's just like, okay, got it. And he's just done. Because he knows no more is going in. But I take in the information from him, from other people, and then look at how it's going to affect everything in big picture. And so that's my superpower. But unfortunately, this is such a huge, massive picture. It's hard to see how all the puzzle pieces fit and what's going to happen next. So, especially since this market and the way it's set up has never happened before. So kind of interesting, But what I'm seeing on the daily is that the market has picked up. And our house prices actually went up for the first time this month in the last 6 months. So again, that whole supply and demand stuff. We're still having price decreases, but that's slowing down. So if you're waiting for the market to bottom out with the house prices and the rates to, be at their lowest, the time is now. That is where you're at in this, this little thing right here. So, yeah, you're basically, you're it right now. So if you're waiting for that, the bounce of the ball, the only time you know for sure it's hit bottom is when it's already back up. Same thing up here. You never knew you were at the height until it's already coming back down. And a bouncy ball goes pretty fast. So, yeah, a lot of sellers out there were like, oh, I'm going to wait until it gets more and more and more and more. No, you have to decide if it's best for you to sell, for you personally. If you wait until the top of the market, the only way you got the top of the market and you're at the highest amount possible you're going to get for your home is when it's already starting to come down, and then it's coming down quickly, and every month you're having to take into a price reduction just to keep up with the market rate. So, and we're talking a lot in order to do that. So, not something I would recommend. If you are wanting to buy a home, buy a home. Don't try and play the market. Just figure out what you're willing to pay, what you're able to pay right now for a home that you're going to be comfortable in, and just do that. Don't play shenanigans. We're not gambling with our homes, okay? Now, if you're an investor, that's different. Shenanigans can happen a little bit more if you're an investor. And while your home is an investment, it is not something you play around with. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, my husband and I, we definitely purchased investment homes while the market was low. And then while the market was high, we couldn't buy anything else. We didn't want to buy anything else. We were like, no, we can't, no. It was really tempting to sell, but that's not why we have the homes. We like having buy and holds and doing rentals with them. So we use that time to fix up the rentals. And we're talking like seriously fix up. Like right now, one of ours is like studs and concrete. So the electrician was out there today. I will have to do a video on this one because there is no kitchen. There is a toilet and a shower. So I wouldn't use that shower if I were you right now. It's pretty gross. But yeah, that's there's studs. There's no walls left. And the walls that are there probably aren't supposed to be. They're supposed to be moved. So crazy. But it should be really, really, really cool and really beautiful when we're done with it. It's going to be a while. So yeah, electrician went out today. I have to look at the floor plan yet again to make sure that the doors are where they're supposed to be, the walls are where they're supposed to be, the floors are, yeah, anyway. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun to do projects like that. But that one is our big project. We've been kind of waiting to do that one. And then we will have no more houses to renovate. So we're going to have to hopefully get a deal. And we have started seeing some deals come through. So we're getting prepped to actually do that again. So now the house prices have come down. Now it's time to buy again. So depending on where the market is, you buy when the house prices are low and sell when they're high when you're doing investing. When you're buying your home, you buy when you need to buy a home. So, a little bit different, and as far as where, it depends, like if you want to, it really depends on where you're working. If you work from home, a lot of people are remote workers still. Like that university professor, he was like, yeah, I get to live in the forest. I get to talk to really cool people. I get to go to a new place all the time. And I'm still a university professor. And I'm, because I'm so happy and I'm living free, I get to, work with these students. And that's my focus. He's like, he actually thinks he's a better teacher because of it. I'm like, I could kind of see that. So yeah, remote worker. He does not want a house to tie him down. He wants to be remote all over the place, which is fine. If you are a remote worker and you're trying to figure out where you're going to be, maybe you should go ahead and rent for a little while and check out the areas, see if you like them. Maybe stay in an Airbnb in that area, check out the neighborhood that way. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. Now, when I say rent for a long period of time, no, renting should be temporary. It's a temporary thing, okay? For all you renters out there, this is not a lifestyle. Do not do it for long term. Do it for a period of time in your life that you need to rent, but do not make it a long-term thing, okay? And it can happen really long, like you think it's a short-term thing and it ends up being a long-term thing. So, but yeah, have the goal of home ownership that is way better in the long term. Is there new construction areas in and around Ocala? Homes with 2 or 4 acres. Whew. Okay, so those two questions are kind of difficult. Okay, so yes, there are new construction areas, I guess, areas that have a lot of new construction, I guess I would say it. Marion Oaks, Rainbow Lakes Estates, even Silver Spring Shores, pretty much all over Marion County is still a lot of new construction. However, they are not normally going to be 2 to 4 acre lots. That is not spec home. That is custom home. Totally different. A spec home is speculative building, and any speculative builder I know is not going to offer 2 to 4 acres. That's a very specific type thing. That's almost always going to be resale or custom. Oh, almost always. I have not seen anything like that. Once in a while, you'll have a custom home that is nearing completion, and then for some reason, something happened. Maybe the buyer dies. I don't know. Like something happens, and that builder now has a house on a specific lot or whatever, and they're nearing completion and they no longer have a buyer. So once in a blue moon, you do see something like that come up. I've seen stuff like that come up in Citra with Triple Crown homes, where for some unknown reason, the buyer at the final portion of it, they just can't complete it. And that's where they get a house like on an acre normally, not normally 2 to 4 acres, but on an acre. But yeah, that can happen. So sometimes keeping in touch with builders and saying, hey, you know, if you happen to have a deal fall through, but then you're going to get whatever it is that they built. This isn't going to be like a spec home where it's like pretty consistent. This is a custom home where whatever that person ordered is what you now have. So if they said, I don't want any bathtubs anywhere in the house, guess what? That house isn't going to have any bathtubs. Or I don't want showers. I want just bathtubs. Okay, then you are not going to have any. You see what I mean? So you're going to get whatever they thought of as their perfect home, even though it might not be your perfect home. So just keep that in mind. But if you want 2 to 4 acres, buy 2 to 4 acres and get a custom home built. It will take approximately 12 to 18 months, depending on the size of the house and where it is and all of that fun stuff. But then you'll get a custom home. And it's not that much different as far as price to do custom, unless you do a whole bunch of customizations. But it's not normally a difference between that and purchasing a spec home or even a resale. It is a little bit different, but not horribly. It's not like, you know, $50,000 to $100,000 difference. That's not what it is. So, you know, maybe look into it. But yeah, I can get you a couple of custom home builders information if you want to chat with them and see what they have available and all of that. So I love some really awesome custom home builders here in Ocala. But yeah, but our spec homes, spec home builders, those are awesome too. But they're not going to do 2 to 4 acres. A third of an acre, quarter acre, totally normal. 2 to 4 acres, that is custom. They're just not going to put that much money into buying a lot. But I do know of 2 lots I really liked. They're 2 acres each. They're right next to each other. And it was like $54,000, and they have owner financing on them. So if you want information about that, I'm not the listing agent, but I saw them. I was actually looking at them for another another buyer, but they're not going to work for what he wants to use them for. They're agricultural. And but yeah, he was looking at them and he's like, wow, 2 2-acre lots. That's really awesome. And they were $54,900 each. So you could actually have 4 acres and probably get a discount if you bought both of them. But anyway, so let me know if you're interested in that, and I will send you the info over on those 2 because it was a really awesome location and everything. So Anthony says, hello, Andrea, prospective buyer here. Hello, Anthony. You're welcome, Hank. If you guys have any questions, or if you want me to send you info, or if you have something that's maybe a little more personalized that you don't want to share with the entire universe, totally understandable. Just send me an email. It's GER.ExpectMore@gmail.com. So GER.ExpectMore@gmail.com. And that's how you'll get in touch with me in case you have any questions or anything. We'll make sure you get taken care of, especially if you're interested in those 2 2-acre lots that are right next to each other. Are the prices coming down soon? Oof, afraid not. Is that the sound we're making? They've actually slowed down on the decrease. They are still coming down, but it is slowing. And actually, we had an increase in price increases this week, so far this week. Still we have, a large quantity of price decreases, but that is slowing. And so far in March, we actually had, sorry, we actually had the prices go up. For the median house prices sold, it actually went up above asking, actually. So I think people have gotten used to the new interest rate normal, and they are purchasing again. So unfortunately, That is actually not what I'm seeing. It's not what I'm seeing. Now, had you asked me a month ago, I'd have been like, yeah, prices are still coming down, blah, blah, blah. That has now changed. And it could change again. I was actually just commenting on, somebody made a comment on one of the videos. It wasn't even my video, it was actually one of Sharni's. But I was like, I'm going to take this one. But he was just stating his opinion that, the house prices are too much and they should be less. And it's like, okay, so this is the housing market. So it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. So you're thinking it should be this because that's what you've seen before, but prices, depending on supply and demand, it changes. So right now it's high, but it's not nearly what it was before. It has been coming down and it's actually kind of gone up a little bit. So it goes up, like, it's just, if it was a graph, it would be really interesting to see, which I actually look at those all the time. I know. It's a weird flaw that I have, that I actually love looking at graphs and data. But it just really helps. What about 2 bedrooms? They are hard to find. I was actually on the phone with Marion County Zoning and Planning today. Did you know that there is a moratorium for houses in Marion County that are less than 1,000 square feet? I did not know that. So that means that I now need to go and talk to some people down at the county, because a lot of people in my generation and younger, they like to have the smaller homes, tiny homes and small homes, and 2 bedrooms as opposed to 3 bedrooms. We have plenty of 3 bedrooms. We have plenty of 3 bedrooms. But because of, inflation and those interest rates and everything else, having more affordable, smaller homes available to them, I think, is necessary. At 900 square feet now, with how you can have a really nice design and have everything tucked away and all of that, it can actually be a fantastic living space, but apparently there's a moratorium on it. So I don't think that's right. I really actually am going to go and fight that. So yeah, hearing that, I don't know who at the planning and zoning thought that was a great idea. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding. I'm sure there is, but I want to know how, who, why, when, where, and what. So to be told that from county planning and zoning today, that no houses are allowed to be built less than 1,000 square feet. How about no? That was just like, oh, okay. I understand you don't want like a whole bunch of like, I don't know, sheds or something being built, but at the same time, what's it matter? If somebody wants to have a smaller home, they should be able to have a smaller home. So, we don't have a whole slew of DVDs anymore. We have Netflix. We don't need to have all that stuff. We don't need to have, a billion books because we have Kindle. We don't need to have a whole bunch of CDs because we have Spotify and Pandora, and all of this stuff is digital. We don't even have to have a big, huge computer anymore. We all have laptops, so, or iPads. It doesn't take much space. So to have the ability to live in a smaller home, I think, is really, really important. And to only have the opportunity to live in a smaller home that was built prior to 1989 or 1970 or something, I don't think is fair either. So I'm going to have to look into it more, just because I don't want to, say, oh, this is wrong, get all, hyped up or whatever, if I don't understand the reasoning behind it. So I want to know what that reasoning is. And if it doesn't work with what we have right now and it's actually a need, then it's up to us to change their minds and say, no, this is what's really needed in our community, is to have, you know, something less than 1,000 square feet. It's perfectly fine, and it's really cute, and it's what they want. So I know they don't want to turn, you know, Ocala and Marion County into like a big, huge, you know, RV park or something like that. But at the same time, having some options is a really good idea. So, hi Ray. Yeah. So we'll have to look into that more and see what we're doing with that. Let's see. Nelson says, hi, Andrea, how are you? Hi. Oh, Nelson and Norma from West Palm Beach. Yes. Hello. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kudos. It is a little intimidating to go on here because you never know what people are going to say. But I have to say, everybody on YouTube, for the most part, has been so encouraging and really, really wonderful. So it encourages me and my agents to continue doing what we do. It seems to really have an effect, not just for you guys, so you guys can learn about the area and real estate in particular, but also some of the smaller businesses that we focus on to try and help you get to know them too. A lot of the smaller businesses locally, they are so busy running their business that they maybe don't have time to do a YouTube channel or whatever. So we try to focus on some of those smaller business, little mom and pop shops, because we're small business owners as well. So we try and help them out and you know, feature some of them and do that. We don't do any chain restaurants or anything like that. We try and really showcase what we have here, because if you have a mom and pop shop that's nowhere else on the planet, that makes it special. So we want to show you what's special about our area. There is so much here. I honestly, we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. I think it was like 750 at last count, and yet we still haven't shown everything that's available here. Portability. Nelson, I have absolutely no idea in what regard that is. I'm sorry. Portability, what do you mean? Whew, Anthony, do you need a 20% to buy a second home if your home is already rented? I am not sure. I think it depends on the mortgage that you're getting. I have heard that yes, and I have heard that no, so it depends. Also, if your home is rented, it depends on the lender, and each lender has different guidelines. So it might be yes for one lender and no for another. It just really depends on the lender. And also, if your home is rented, how long has it been rented for? If you're utilizing it for income, that's one thing. If you're just, you know, it really just depends. I've heard 6 months, I've heard 2 years, I've heard 3 years. So it just depends. It really just depends. That is a question that you really need to actually do an application with a lender, actually a couple of lenders. In case you guys don't know this, please talk to a few lenders, okay? Because again, they have different guidelines. And if you want a list of lenders that I use or recommend over here in Ocala, please ask. I will happily send you a list of recommended lenders. And if any of them, I actually just took a lender off my list. He did not, I don't know, for whatever reason, he got busy or whatever, he did not respond to somebody that we sent over to him. So he got, yeah, he got taken off our list. So unfortunately, I even though he's a fantastic lender, he's just no longer on our list of recommended lenders. I do not owe these people anything. They do not give me anything, but I do ask that, you know, they take care of anybody that we send over to them, because they're essentially getting free advertising. So, you know, so if they could make sure that they take care of our customers and make sure that their communication is right on par and everything. So anyway, but I have a list of lenders that I use that are absolutely phenomenal. They will absolutely answer any of your questions. Check with a couple of them, call a few of them and see, you know, what they say, because again, one might have one guideline and one might have a different guideline depending on what company that they're with. So if you want that list, just send me an email. Again, GER.ExpectMore at gmail.com, and I'll just send you over that list. No problem. Let's see. You're welcome, Anthony. Anytime. Nelson, I'm still trying to figure out what portability is. What is portability? I've heard that term with like cell phones. You can port a number over, but I don't know portability. I don't know. I don't know about it in like real estate or Ocala terms. So, yeah. Anyway, he's probably like, I have to now explain to this woman, like, you know, write a whole huge thing. Oh, good grief. Oh my goodness. Well, actually it's, I'm a little overpassed, but anyway, are there still a lot of homes in Ocala? Like more homes in Ocala than buyers? Yes and no. I think it's a healthy market right now. There are right about 2,500 houses. So, oh, okay. So there's about 2,500 houses sitting on the market right now as we speak. I mean, I could literally pull up the number, but I'm going to say 2,500. Let me see. Should we check and see if I'm right? All right. Residential. I was already logged into, you know, okay. Thank you. I appreciate it, Nelson. You got my number. Just call me. So let's see. Marion County. I was off by 81. There's 2,581 houses currently available in Marion County. But keep in mind, we have about 1,600 square miles. So when you really look at what's available and how big of an area we're talking, that's really not that many houses. And then if you take some stuff off, so let's say you have kids, well, that means we have to remove all of the 55 plus. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're gonna play around with this, so why not? So if we have all of the 55 plus, I'm gonna say none of those, all of a sudden we're down more than 500. You're over at the tax appraisers? Okay. Oh, it's a tax thing. Okay, so that I would talk to the, I'd call Jimmy, and he's the tax appraiser. So, the property appraiser, and he's awesome. I have his cell phone number. He's so amazing with answering questions. Portability. I appreciate that, Nelson. I have no idea what it is. I'm thinking it would be if you paid your tax bill over here and then bought over here. So probably, I knew what you meant. But yeah, let me know exactly, and I will happily find out for you. But yeah, I'd probably just call Jimmy real quick. No, no, we are not high like that. So anyway, but yeah, I was just putting down like, so yeah, there's 2,023 houses that are all ages houses in Marion County as of right now. Again, 1,600 square miles, that's not that many houses, basically. We're about the size of Connecticut. Can you imagine if in the entire state of Connecticut, there was only 2,000 houses available for all ages? I mean, that's really not that many. So yeah. And then if you like change it even more, if you want like less than, let's say 500,000, because I don't know, we're going to do 30,000 to 500,000. All of a sudden it went down to 1,677. So if you want a stick built or concrete block or a mobile home, every single one of those decisions of what you want is going to change the availability significantly. So if you're like, I don't want any mobile homes in there, that's super easy. We can go ahead and change it out so you don't have any mobile homes. So not mobile homes, manufactured homes, any of those. Okay, now that's going to change it. We're now down into the 1400s for houses. So it really just depends. And that's how we do searches, honestly. I'm literally like just playing around with it. But when you ask your real estate agent to do a search for you, that's what we're doing. We're like, okay, what is your absolutely no, would never even consider it? And I'm going to put that in the search so we can narrow it down. And we just do a process of elimination. What drives us nuts is we'll go ahead and do a process of elimination. And let's say you say, absolutely not. I do not want to live in Marion Oaks. I have to be in Silver Spring Shores. Okay, we're going to eliminate Marion Oaks. And then as we're going along through the process, you keep seeing on Zillow, because Zillow will attack your email like you wouldn't believe. And you're going to see all of these beautiful new construction homes, and it's right in your price range, and they're all in Marion Oaks. And you're like, why didn't you send me that? You're like, because you said to nix Marion Oaks. Well, maybe not that section, or maybe if it's a new, so be careful what you tell your real estate agent, because we take you seriously. There's way too many houses. We have to narrow down the search. So, but if you're like absolutely no manufactured home, no mobile homes whatsoever, and then we find like a 10-acre farm, and it has this beautiful triple wide on it with this fireplace and, this all this amazing stuff. And you're like, why didn't you send me that one? Well, so yeah, I make a deal with any of the buyers that I talk to and work with or whatever. I'm like, okay, we're going to send you houses, but you're not supposed to send me Zillow. After that, no sending me Zillow. I made that a t-shirt, by the way. I did. All right. Well, I think that's it for me. I have to go home and make sure that my 14-year-old knew how to feed herself out of the many leftovers in the fridge. So that's it for us. And I will be busy this week making sure that all of my customers are taken care of and making sure that you get more videos and all sorts of stuff. So you're actually going to see 2 videos from Tristan. Thank you, Anthony. One video is the Airbnb. That was her first video. So if you have a minute, go on our channel and, give her kudos for such a great job. She really did a great job on it. Oh, yay. Oh, that Jeff is her husband. The one I was just talking about is Tristan, is such a sweetheart. She did an amazing job on that video. It was really, really well. You could see how she researched it, and she had pictures, and it was really, really well done. So she was showing off one of her Airbnbs. But yeah, so that one, it's her husband is Jeff. And he's just Tennessee good old boy. He's, oh my God, one of my favorite people ever. And I just adore both of them as a couple. They're so great. So, you're welcome. And then, she's also going to be our, agent, basically our featured agent, where I ask the 20 questions. But she's so super nervous about, doing videos. It really is hard for them. I know, it makes it look easy. It is not easy. It's not easy to do this. So yeah, so just if you can, give her a little encouragement, because she's new at the video thing, and she really stepped out of her comfort zone to do those. So she has 2 videos coming up. One is that one, and then the other one is where I was asking her 20 questions, which has not gotten edited yet. That'll be edited tomorrow. But yeah, so anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. I love doing these Monday live events. So every Monday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And if you have any questions, go ahead and email me, or if you have comments, put it in the comments section. Awesome. But our email is GER. Good grief. My daughter calling again. Bye.